Okay, yeah. So thank you all for being here. We're still going to wait 10 minutes until we officially start. So feel free to keep letting me know in the chat where you're from, how long you've had your Etsy shop. If you have any questions about Adobe Express or Etsy already, feel free to ask. You have me for the next 10 minutes and we're not starting. So I'll answer any questions you have. But also, I will be on for as long as there are questions. Let me start this Q&A too. Yeah. Okay, so if you have a question, you can drop it in the Q&A chat, but otherwise we can just keep chatting in the chat. Megan is from Vancouver, Canada. Very cool. Kelly from New Mexico. My shops have been open for 2 years, still learning it all. Yeah. Karen started 5 years ago, but didn't do anything the first year. Relatable. Laurie has had their shop. How do you say that? Is it Tri-Leaf? For about 2 years, nature-inspired wearable art jewelry. Very cool. Lorenda started in 2010. I started in 2011. Doesn't it feel crazy? Okay, Kelly, great question. For anyone just joining, we're still waiting for 10 minutes, but feel free to ask me questions in the meantime. And so Kelly asked, what's the difference between Adobe Express and the normal Adobe? So Adobe has a lot of products. Probably some of you have heard of Photoshop, Illustrator. Adobe Express is another product by Adobe. And the thing I love about it, as you will learn, is that I am not a professional designer. So the thing that's great about Adobe Express is that it is great for non-professional designers like me. So it's like a quick and easy tool. It has a really small learning curve. Like today in 45 minutes, we're going to set up an entire brand and set up, how to make listings and marketing materials and stuff in like less than an hour, which is great because I've been trying to learn Photoshop for a few years. I've been barely trying to learn, but I have, it definitely takes some learning to use the Pro Tools, and they're super powerful and great. And Adobe Express takes all of the, power behind Adobe, but puts it in something that's really quick and easy. Always use Adobe, but never Express. Cool. Let me know what you think too. For everyone who does end up trying it out, please let me know. If you're just joining, we haven't officially started yet, but I'm asking folks where you're tuning in from. If you have an Etsy shop, which I think everyone does, how long you've had it, because I'm curious. Okay, Laurie says you pronounce it Chisai. Very cool. Karen's shop is Pierced Leather. Love that name. Samantha's shop is La Petite Craft. Only been open since July. Wow, that's so exciting. Lenny is from California. Hi, Lenny. Esme from Brownsburg, Indiana, started a shop called Memories Made Easy in July 2021. Make pre-made scrapbook pages. So as May is saying, I jumped in, hope to drown in orders, not so much. Need to take down my shop and learn and start over with everything I've learned. The great thing about Etsy is that it is really easy to update and just like try new things. Deb HC Air Arts since 2009. Wow. Yeah, some people also have Etsy shops that they kind of leave unattended for a while, so that's relatable. Lenny asks, so is Adobe Express better than Adobe Photoshop? They do different things well. So Photoshop has a lot of the Pro Tools have specific things that they're incredibly good at. So for photo editing, Photoshop can do much more than Adobe Express can do. And also, depending on how much of that you need, you may only need a little bit, in which case Adobe Express might be better because the learning curve is smaller. So it's just kind of about what you want. Like if you know how to use Photoshop and you want to edit a photo, great. Something that I'll show in the workshop today is lots of people use Photoshop to remove backgrounds of images, and that can take a while. And Adobe Express has like one button that does that. So, you know, you can use it for different things and you can use them interchangeably also. But if you're going to start with one and you don't have a lot of design expertise, I would start with Adobe Express. Julia says, I'm from the UK. My shop is Lux Textile Shop. Great. Carol from North Carolina. My shop is Brown Sugar Chocolate Co. I'm entering my 3rd year. That's so exciting. Kelly asks, how much does it affect the shop revamping it by changing photos and SEO? I mean, I think it's kind of important to always be like updating your shop. For anyone new that is jumping in, and thanks so many people for jumping in, we're just chatting. We're not starting for 5 more minutes. So if you want to let me know where you're tuning in from, how long you've had your Etsy shop, we're just chatting until we get started. The Q&A tab is also open because I'm just here, so I'll answer questions. And Susan is asking, I saw there was a free offer. Can you tell the details? Also, what is the cost after the free period? I'll go over this in the workshop too, but it's 4 months of Adobe Express Premium. There's a free version and a premium version. The premium version costs $9.99 a month, or I think $99 annually. So you can use it for free for 4 months. You can then downgrade to the free version, or you can continue using the premium version if you want to. And if you have any questions while you're learning it, please feel free to ask me. I'm very available. How does it compare to other products? So I'll also go over that as soon as we start for real, but there are a lot of competing products in this space, and I like that this is powered by Adobe. So I'll go over some of the details of what I like about it, but it's Adobe designers, it's Adobe infrastructure and engineering. So to me, that's really powerful. Laurie asked if I import assets into Express from Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, will they link refresh if I make changes to the original asset files? At this moment, no, unless you can sync your Creative Cloud libraries. So if you update it there, I'm actually not sure if it does. That is a great question, though. If you wouldn't mind asking that, I don't know if any of my coworkers joining the chat would know. Katrina might actually. I'll ask her, Lori, when she gets here. Actually, let me see if she's popping in early. I'm going to ask her because she might know. And okay. Mary, Detroit, Michigan, my clear stamp since 2010. That is awesome. Terry shop is Crystal Centric, calling in from New York. I lived in New York for 12 years in Brooklyn. Lori from Central VA, had a handmade shop a couple years ago, but really started taking it seriously the last year. Very cool. Started a digital shop this year. Longtime Adobe user as a graphic designer. Been using Canva and I love it. Brenda is from Kona. I tried the app and I couldn't remove background on my desktop. Is that possible? Sounds like that was possibly an issue because you absolutely should be able to. Wow, so many people. Alejandra, James, Stephanie from Buffalo, Judy, Terry, Myra. Is your name Jonna? Joanna, Stephanie, Kate. Hi, everyone. We're still going to wait a few minutes. Gina, hi. But feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Excuse me. And how long you've had your Etsy shop. I'm going to give folks another minute or two to join. Feel free to chat in the chat and also ask questions in the Q&A. And some of my Adobe coworkers will be here to help me answer questions, which is great. I'm so excited for this today. And also let me know in the chat. I have not used this platform before. I think I got it and I practiced. Demetrius is asking, anyone else have no sound? Can you hear me? That is very important. 2 people can hear me. Okay, great. So if you can't hear me, hopefully, if you're using Safari, click on the presenter's image. Oh, okay. Great. So for the people who can hear me, great. For the people who can't hear me, I guess you can't hear me tell you how to get it. But hopefully you can read the chat and see. Looks like if you're on Safari, there may be a way that you have to click on something. Click on my photo, which again, can't hear me. Okay, we're going to get started in a second. Katrina, I have a question from the chat. So do you know, I know you can sync Creative Cloud libraries to Adobe Express. Do you know when you do that, if you edit, like if you edit a file from another Adobe product, does it update in Adobe Express? If you don't know the answer to that, that's okay. But if you do, let me know and we can answer that for the chat. And if not, okay. Katrina says it should. It just, if it doesn't, you can just re-upload it. So hopefully that's helpful. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited that you're all here. This is very cool. Does Adobe Express include mockups? Kind of. What kind are you looking for? Will you demo the scheduler piece too mentioned in Etsy Up last week? Yes, I will. And there is another workshop on next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern that is all about marketing, which is great. So for anyone in the chat, I mean, again, if you can't see or hear me, this is going to be helpful, but hopefully everyone who has joined can see and hear me. I'm about to get started. We are recording this, so if anything goes wrong, I'm not actually exactly sure where the recording will go, but it will be available somewhere, and hopefully you'll get an email about it, which will be great. So hi, nice to meet you all. I am very excited to be here talking about taking your branding to the next level with Adobe Express as this Etsy Up event. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. You can also use the Q&A, which is a separate tab. So if you have, just want to chat, letting us know where you're tuning in from and how long you've had an Etsy shop, please feel free to let us know there in the chat. And if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A. Katrina, who was the speaker for Adobe Express in like the big keynote presentation, is here in the chat with us. We're so thankful to have her. So her and I will try to tag team answering all of your questions. I think this workshop is about 45 minutes. I don't have a hard out, so I can stay as long as there are questions. You can also at me. I am at Jordan Danae Ellis all over the internet, and whatever social platform you're on, feel free to slide into my DMs. I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can. Or you can head to the Adobe Express social media. I hang out there too, answering questions. And there is a Facebook group, which is called Adobe Express Insiders that I run. So feel free to join that to ask more questions as we go. But thank you all. Thanks to everyone in the chat who is helping people figure out how to get their sound on. And we're gonna get started. Oops. Maybe. Hold on. Let me see how to. Here we go. Okay. Hi, I'm Jordan Danae Ellis. I have been an Etsy shop seller since 2011, which is so wild to me. I don't know if anyone else in the chat can relate to this, but I was not planning on starting a full-time business when I started my Etsy shop. It was sort of on a whim as a hobby because a friend recommended it. And honestly, I was nannying and kind of bored. So I love crafting and decided to start an Etsy shop making aprons. I was sewing them into they were like costume aprons. So I would sew them into different patterns that were like animals or characters. It was really fun. And that became completely unmanageable. So I started screen printing and doing print on demand. So my shop has shifted a lot over the past 11 years, which is wild. And in that time, I have also done a few other businesses. I have run social media freelance for some other small businesses in my niche. I also, the business that my Etsy shop was, spun off into a media company, which is completely wild. So I have a podcast and a magazine that is printed and published and distributed in comic shops all over the world called The Sartorial Geek. And the reason that I'm here today is that I am very, very thankful to be an Adobe Express community manager. So I'm here to help folks learn how to use Adobe Express, answer all their questions, including yours. So you have me for the next 45 minutes and you have me on the internet forever. So feel free to bug me anytime you have questions. A very important thing, even though I am here on behalf of Adobe and Adobe Express, I am not a professional designer. So if anyone else, I'm actually really curious if anyone in the chat has used either Adobe Express or other Adobe Pro tools. I would love to hear from you. I barely know how to use any of the other Pro tools, if I'm being super honest. I've messed around in a few, but I haven't done an art class since high school. So I did not go to art school. I have an elementary education degree. So the fact that I am here demoing an Adobe product for you is still baffling to me. So if anyone else does not have a design background, Katrina, who did our keynote, also does not have a design background. So this is something that is very quick and easy to use. Lots of Illustrator and Photoshop folks in the chat. That's very fun. And InDesign, yeah, they're great. I'm so impressed you all can use those. Way to go. So what we're doing today, we're going to talk about branding, which is a really wide topic. And I want to make this as relevant and valuable to folks at all ends of the spectrum as possible. So if you've never branded anything before, or if you have professional branding, hopefully you'll get something valuable out of this. So we're going to do like a branding overview of how to take either a branding that you make from scratch with Adobe Express and Adobe tools, or branding that you already have, and make your Etsy shop cohesive, and then build that into a cohesive and branded marketing plan. So we'll create a logo, choose your brand colors, upload your brand to Adobe Express, brand your Etsy shop and your listings, and then create a cohesive marketing plan. Before we get started, and I answered some of these questions for folks who were early, but these are questions that we get asked all the time. So just to save your fingers from typing, I am going to answer some of these ahead of time. So what sets Adobe Express apart? There are some other competing tools, lots of them in this space. Actually, you may have used some of them or heard of some of them. My favorite thing about Adobe Express is that it's powered by Adobe. So because of that, we have access to hundreds of thousands of Adobe stock photos, 200,000 plus Adobe fonts, and gorgeous templates that are all created by Adobe designers, which is really cool. That is one of my favorite features. So those are some of the things that I love about Adobe Express specifically. How much does it cost? There is a free version that anyone can use forever. All you need is an Adobe ID to sign in, and that is completely free. So you can use that for as long as you want. For premium access, that is $9.99 a month, or I believe $99 a year with an annual plan. And you all have a 4-month free code, or you should, as part of this. So if you don't have it, I would email, well, first check your email, and also maybe reach out to the Etsy Up event to see how to get access to it, because I believe they have all the codes for people who RSVP'd, but we'll make sure to get it for you. So you all should have access to it. If you do have an Adobe paid plan, there are a lot of different plans. So look into what you have and see if it's included. It absolutely might be. Like if you have the All Apps plan, you already have access to the premium version. So feel free to check that out if you are an Adobe user. How do I access it? You can download the Adobe Express app that you can use on mobile, iOS or Android, or tablets. And you can also just go to express.adobe.com in the web browser, which is what I'm going to show you today. So you don't have to download anything if you don't want to. And is it too hard for me? Absolutely not. As I said, I have an education degree and an MBA and no design expertise at all. So if you're nervous about designing, I think that this is the thing for you. So I am going to exit this presentation and open up. Yes, Adobe Express. Okay. Yeah, Adela already has it in their full app paid monthly. That is great. Cool. Thanks so much for being so active in the chat, guys. This is great. For those who haven't received your codes, like we will definitely get that for you. I can't do it in this moment, but you have access to me and the Etsy team and the Adobe Express team. So we will get it for you. Kristen in the chat is saying the email was called Claim Your Adobe Express Free Trial. So you can search that in your email if you would like. Okay, so to get started, this is the homepage of Adobe Express. I'm not going to go into it too much, just giving a little overview because one, it's pretty easy, and two, we could be here all day. So the projects, brand, library, schedule, and learn along the side are sort of like the big level places that you may want to go. You can search all templates at the top. That is really like one of the main things about Adobe Express is that there are lots of templates and like pre-designed things that you can all use, especially for our non-pro designers. There are some quick actions depending on what you need. There's remove background, which we will go through. There are also things like converting to different file types, cropping images. You can resize, merge videos, which I saw there were some questions already about video. These are some of the things that you can do in Adobe Express with videos. Make a GIF, change the speed. For those who need QR codes for things like craft fairs or different postcards that you may be handing or mailing out, you can generate a QR code here as part of it. And if you're doing things with PDF, we have a few PDF quick actions, which are super easy. These are templates that will be specifically recommended for you, as well as some popular templates in different sizes for different use cases. So I scroll the homepage a lot just for inspiration, and I will show you one of my favorite things, which is you can create a library and kind of save your favorite templates so that they're all in one place and easy to use. So for one of my brands, these are the templates that I use for like my podcast and for quotes. And I speak at Comic-Cons and sell at them a lot. So these are some of my saved templates. And I'll show you some of the Etsy options that I have in a little bit. But so branding, again, I'm not a branding expert. I'm going to do my best and tell you what I know. And if you have just started branding, it's basically the look and feel of your brand that lets folks know that it's you. So it's like recognizable. It's so that your shop is cohesive. And it's just a really important thing, especially on Etsy, because as folks are scrolling through listings, all the different listings from different shops look different. So if yours has a certain look or feel, that's a really helpful thing for Etsy and for businesses and brands in general. So first start with a logo. If you already have a logo, great. I also sometimes use logos for different things. So like even though my brand has a logo, sometimes I'll do like a logo for, you know, a specific like series of products that I'm doing, or if I am going to be at events, I'll make something for that. So if you already have a logo, you can feel free to use that. But if you want to make a new one for anything, I'll show you a few options. One is just type logo into templates. There are 2,000 logo templates here, which is great. And I love seeing, even if you want to design it yourself in Illustrator, if I know there are some pros in the audience, you can also just browse these for inspiration too, to see. So these are separated by theme. So like these are fashion and beauty templates. We can view all and look in here for folks who maybe have like hair accessories that you're selling or makeup. So you can go this way and choose a template and base something off of that. Or one of my other favorite things is there's a logo maker. So you can either just type in Adobe Logo Maker, or you can copy the listing here. But you can make logos for free online, which is really fun. I'm just going to do this really quickly. Our brand will be called Cute Crafts. You can type in a slogan if you want. Let's go with decorative. That feels great. I'm going to, let's pretend this is, I kind of like this, but let's pretend this is a knitting shop, and this is super cute. Go with here, and now we have so many logo options. The fun thing too, like say you like this, but it's not quite right, you can click in here and cycle through different colors, cycle through different fonts. You can go backwards. Like this is something that I think would totally work for me. Sorry, just looking at the questions really fast. I really hope that everyone who isn't able to see it can. I'm not sure. I am not sure how to let them know how to see the video. But okay, so we're going to go with this logo, and you can hit customize more if you want to open it within Adobe Express to edit it a little more. So say you have colors you want to use, or you want to specifically use a font that you already know about. So Laurie's asking what file types you have from this. You can download as a PNG with a transparent background, JPEG, or PDF. So at this moment, there is not a way to open it in anything other than a PNG or a PDF for editing. So to get to the logo maker, you can just Google Adobe Logo Maker, or type in adobe.com/express/create/logo. So, oops, going back to this, there are some font recommendations here on the side too. So those are two ways that you can make a logo from scratch with Adobe Express. The next thing that you need to choose with your branding is the colors. This is either the most fun or the hardest, depending on how you feel about choosing colors. I personally love it, but it's not always super easy for me. So I prefer looking for inspiration places. So this is another Adobe tool. This is the Adobe Color tool. So you can go to color.adobe.com, or similarly, Google Adobe Color. You can like build something with this gradient here, which is very fun. Or what I really enjoy is looking at the trends. So these are some options of like popular color palettes, which is really fun to see, depending on, you know, what vibe you're going for. You can also go into Explore, which gives you a bunch of options. So if any of these look good to you, you can feel free to use these color palettes. You can also search. So like maybe you want something that feels like spring. These are very spring colors. You can also type in like, I don't know, mountain, and see some sort of like more natural. So this is a really fun tool that I really like using, even as inspiration, or, you know, taking some of the color palette from here, maybe not all of it. I also recommend choosing like 3 to 5 colors and making sure 1 or 2 of them are neutral, because if you have a color palette that's like all really bold rainbow and nothing that is neutral, it's going to be kind of hard to design with that. So that is my recommendation. And once you have your logo and your colors, you have your brand. So if you already have a brand, like I'm not a designer and I didn't know about Adobe Express in 2011 when I started my Etsy shop, I also had a completely different branding then. So, you know, brands get upgraded and that's part of life, and it's great to level up. So feel free to like not be nervous about setting up your initial brand. One of my favorite mantras for life and business is done is better than perfect. So getting a brand up so that you can start your Etsy shop, if that's the level that you're at, is great. And then you can always upgrade it later. You can make it for free here. You can also pay experts to create branding for you, and both are great. So whatever version you go with, I actually, like I said, didn't know about Adobe Express when I set up my brand. So mine was created by professional designers, and then I uploaded it into the brands here. So I'll show you some of the brands that I have. Like I said at the beginning, I used to do freelance social media. So I have some brands that I have worked for right here. So then when I was making graphics for them, I had everything saved. This is mine. So this is the logo that was made in an Adobe product. These are my colors. This brand only has 3. And then the fonts that I've chosen. So I can also invite people if I don't personally have a team of of people who I work with. So I don't invite folks, but if you're working with a partner or if you hire out social media, you can share this with them. Yvonne says, I need to tattoo that to remember done is better than perfect. It is literally how I get through life, because I wouldn't be able to do all the things I'm doing if they all had to be perfect first. So just to show off a very different brand, this is the brand of my magazine, and this is like so much brighter. Different logo, different colors. I still have a white and a gray, but much brighter colors and different fonts. And then this is the recent brand that I've made that is my Instagram and social for all the products I'm doing for Adobe Express. So if you want to upload your own, it is super easy. You just hit create a brand, and then you can add your own logo, add your own colors from hex codes if you want, add your font, and you are ready to go. So once we have all of that, you're ready to set up your Etsy shop. I know everyone here has an Etsy shop, so like I think you know how to get into it and edit it. The Etsy banner is one of the first things. So you can go through templates and search. When I search Etsy banner, I get over 2,500 templates, which is very cool. Yes, you can save as an SVG file, or you can convert to an SVG file with one of the quick actions. So you can do that. And then scrolling through the templates with a crown are premium templates, which you all have access to. And you can get more specific if you want, but there are just some really fun options here for Etsy banners. I pulled a few of my favorites already into the libraries because the templates changed so much. I wasn't sure what would show up on the homepage. So this is something that I loved, as lots of folks are crafters. So this is something that would be really easy to just change the name here. I do not crochet, but if I did, I could change this and, change the fonts or whatever to your brand fonts even, if you want to do that. So you can pull, oops, that's not what I want. You can pull from templates. You can also change the colors. I don't think you have to have Etsy Premium to use the Etsy banner. I'm pretty sure not. This is like for folks doing kitchen things. You can also, I imagine most people want to use their own photos. You can upload your own fonts, and you also do have access to stock photos here. So this is kitchen. Let's just search here. So if you have your own photo shoot, that's great. But if you, actually, let me do this. If you're just getting started, you have access to Adobe stock photos too. So, oops, I forgot to hit replace, but that's fine. I can just make this the size that I want and drag it down here. So, this was not a great example. That looks not better, but you can add in Adobe stock photos if you want. And then I'm going to show you the one that I decided to use, which I love. I'm going to go back to my libraries and into my Etsy options. This is the Etsy banner that I made. I'll show you that it is on my shop right now. So while it's uploading, while it's opening, I'll show you. This is my Etsy shop. So this, I decided to do a photo collage with a photo shoot that I did a little while ago. And then my favorite thing is I can swap out these photos with each new season or with each new collection that I have coming out. So I think this is going to be the vibe that I'm going for a while. So let's see which one I was opening. Let me go into my projects so I can show you how to edit it. There are a few really cool options. Here we go. You can search this too, but just so you know, the size of Etsy banners is 3,360 pixels by 840. I just Googled it, but if you want this, actually, I pulled from a different type of template and then resized it here with the size of an Etsy banner. So you can do that too. If you see a template that you like and it isn't quite the right size, you can just go ahead and hit resize and have that be what you need. So this is the one I'm currently using, like I showed you. But the really fun thing about the way templates work is that if I want to replace these photos, I can upload my own. So like, I think this is the latest photo shoot that I did. If I want to swap these out, it's really easy to do that, which is something I could do, you know, like I said, every season or every time I have a new photo shoot. One of my other favorite things about Adobe Express is that you can edit your photos you can edit your photos too with filters. And I'll show you my favorite, but for example, say, you know, you wanted to, your branding is like very monochrome and you wanted to do black and white, you totally can. Or duotone is one of my favorites. So if you wanted to make like a rainbow with your banner, you could like duotone it in a bunch of different colors. Let me do this. Oops. So there are lots of options depending on what your color scheme ends up being, and what your branding is. You can, so you could do that with the whole banner if you wanted. And yeah, you could create your own templates from scratch. So that is just like a few of the ways that I have loved using Etsy banners. So we have the logo, which you would upload here, or you could use a photo of yourself, but we already have that with the seller. So you have your logo ready to go. You have your banner ready to go. And now we need the listings. So as you all know, Etsy has horizontal listings photos. Oops. So actually I can go ahead and use this. So I started from scratch with a custom size. This is 2667 by 2000 is the Etsy listing recommended size. So what I did here is added a photo that I had removed the background and put it on top of one of my brand colors. So I'll show you how to create a new listing like that. I clicked into it a little too soon, but let me duplicate this to start a new project. I already figured out the size of my listing there, so don't need to do that work for myself twice. So I can edit this project. Let me go into this. Okay, I'll go ahead and delete this. I'm going to add a photo of one of my listings. Let's go ahead and do this one. This is a listing that is not up yet in my Etsy shop, so it would be great. And we had talked a little bit before about removing backgrounds. Some of you may already know how to do this in Photoshop, but here you can hit just this image to remove the background. If it's not quite right, you can erase or restore, but that looks good to me. Hit the check mark, and that is it. So you can change the background color to be anything you want. This is my brand color. I could do something dark and moody. This is one of my other brand colors. I personally have a pretty minimal brand, but you could do something like we've talked about gradients. Like you could have different backgrounds for the different listings in your shop. So I'll show you what I ended up doing is sort of alternating remove background with other photos. So this is like what I like for my Etsy shop because you can customize the order that things show up in, but you can do whatever you want, whatever makes the most sense for your branding. So that's basically it for setting up your Etsy shop. One of my favorite things though is that now that you have images like this for your listings, you can also use these to create social posts. So say I want to take this photo and use it as an Instagram post. So I can go over to resize. All of the social post sizes are right here. So Instagram, landscape, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever. I hang out the most on Instagram, so I will start with that. And since it's on Instagram, I might want to be a little more exciting. So I can go into backgrounds over here and maybe like these stationary backgrounds are very fun. That's, oops, here we go. These are a little wild, but I can also go into the enhancements here and like tone it down a little bit, make it darker or lighter. And let me make this a little bigger. Depending on what you want to announce, like if this is a new product, you can go into shapes over here. I really like these sort of starbursty. Let's see if this looks cool or crazy. Yeah, go into my brand colors right here. Put this behind her with the layers palette over here. And add some text. Because I have my brand kit sorry, looking at the chat. Thanks so much, Katrina and Heidi, for answering all the questions. Because I have my brand kit uploaded, my fonts are going to be right here at the top, which is great. And my colors are going to be right here at the top, which is also great. So I can resize this to fit in here if I want. And yeah, let me move this over to make it a little less crazy. I can group these, make them a little bigger, put this whole thing behind her. Yeah, that'll totally work. So I can post this to my Instagram. I can either download it as a PNG or JPEG, or as someone asked in the chat, I can show off the new scheduling option. Can you directly import pics from Etsy to Adobe? I don't believe so. You can pull photos from Lightroom. If any of you happen to use Lightroom, you can do that. But I will show you how to schedule this with Scheduler, which also is a premium feature. So I have added all of my social channels already. It's super easy to, if you've ever used a scheduler before, this will probably be pretty easy to set up, but you just connect Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn right through here. At this moment, Scheduler can have one profile per account, but it's on the roadmap to have multiple profiles. So if you're running different shops or running like a personal account and an Etsy account, you can there will be an option in the future to add more. But for now, you can add one of each. So I'm going to send this to Twitter, to Instagram, to Facebook, to Pinterest, and to LinkedIn. Write a caption. I would write a better caption than that if I didn't want to make you all watch me type. You can also add a first comment for Instagram. So if you want to link to your Etsy shop in the comments, you absolutely can. So you can do that here. Yeah, adding links. Yes. So this is one way to do it for Instagram. I'll show you another option too. So if I wanted to post this, I can, I'm actually going to take away Pinterest and preview it. This is what it will look like on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. And then I can choose what day I want it to go out. I'll choose this Sunday at 8:37 a.m. and go ahead and schedule it. And now it's right here. So if I want to, edit anything, if I decide I want this to actually go out on Friday instead, or if I want it to go out on different days, can do that. Another thing that I think is what Brenda was asking in the chat is, like, for example, if I want to share this listing, I can copy the link, go back to scheduler, and instead of adding from an Adobe Express project, I can hit add new and type in the link. So you can see how it pops up. You can see the link preview. I'll put this on just these three. You can schedule to Pinterest too. I will show you how to do that in 1 second. So you can see what it looks like with the listing. Like, I can tell on Twitter that the top is going to be cut off. So I can either edit the image that I use it with or decide to post it anyway. But that's how you post links. And then if you want to level up what you're doing, you can add multiple pages. So I can duplicate this page, but I can have this page be a different size than the first one. So if I go into resize, this is one of my tricks. I like to group everything first so it doesn't move when I resize it. So if I want to make this Pinterest sized, this looks pretty good. I'll just make this a little bigger. Yeah, okay. So now it's sized for Pinterest, which is great. So I can download just this page, or I can download both pages together into a zip file. But I can also schedule just this to Pinterest if I want. So I'm going to go to Pinterest while the media is loading. Please write something better than this in your caption. I only have a few boards, and I can add a destination link if I want. So this does not currently exist, but I will go ahead and add the link to my Etsy shop. And I'm going to draft this so I don't accidentally post it, which I do all the time, because this is not a good actual Pinterest post, but you can move those around too. So that is great. Let me look at the Q&A really fast to see what else we want to ask about. Is there a product mockup feature? So to do product mockups, like, you can remove the background of something, or you could bring in elements of something, but there isn't like a default product lockup in here. I don't think I have anything that I could demo on this machine. But you can, you can remove background and you can add assets. So for example, all of my designs are created in Illustrator, so I could bring them into an Adobe, like I could save them as a PNG and bring them into Adobe Express and then use them here for this. So the other great thing about Scheduler is like when the holidays are coming up, you can schedule things out. As far as I know, there is no limit to the calendar. So I know some scheduling tools only let you schedule like 2 months out. You can schedule, to a year from now if you want. That's probably not the move, but you can. So you could start planning now for the rest of the holidays, which is great. And then this is just something that I really like doing is you can create a draft post, which is basically just like a marker of what you want to schedule. So like, for example, say, that you have a craft fair, that you have a craft fair weekend coming up. So you want to like not forget to post about it on Friday. And then also, a promotion of the craft fair that you were out at last year. You want that to be here. Oops, I'm going to make that a draft. And then say you want to showcase your booth setup, like just so you can plan out what you want your cadence to be. And you could post every other day. You can post every day of the week. This is just like a fun tool that I think is very fun to plan out and schedule your content in advance. That's what I use all the time. So that is basically the end of what I wanted to show you all. We have some questions that I'm going to answer right now. Oh, sorry, one more thing that we got some questions about with animation. So if I wanted to turn this into a reel, I can, have some different animated options that will, I only have one word. So actually, this is kind of a bad example. I'm really sorry. But I can shuffle the colors of my branding. I can do a fade. You can also do photo animations. So, depending on what your project is, they're not always going to work. But if you decide to animate an image, you can schedule it as a video, as an MP4. So I can schedule this, to Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest if I want. And you can also download it as an MP4. So yeah, I think that's it. I am, how did you bring your brand into the project? So if you here in design, this is my brand up here, and you can also switch brands to any of the other ones. So if I wanted to swap that out, it would change to the font and the colors. And you can also, oops. Yeah, you can shuffle the colors, which again, leads to some crazy things sometimes, but that is very fun. The logo maker, you can go to adobe.com/express/create/logo, or you can also just Google Adobe logo maker and it'll pop up. Yeah, the animation options, great. So glad you like that, Laurie. How can we access this when we're actually trying to make a project? Access which, Miriam? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Are you able to schedule reels for Instagram? And TikTok is not currently available in the Adobe Express scheduler, but I heard this morning that it's the next on the roadmap. So you can schedule videos for Instagram and Facebook. Yes. Yeah, honestly, Adela. So I've used a lot of scheduling apps, and the thing that always got me is that I always had to pay extra for them. And sometimes I'm very on top of stuff and schedule everything. And sometimes I'm very not on top of stuff and schedule nothing. So I always felt a little like, man, trying to decide, how much to spend on it and what was worth paying for. This makes it really easy because I use Adobe Express for other things. And so I'm really happy that I have this. I have this option now. It's great. You can use things that you create with your Cricut. You just make it an SVG file. There are stickers too that you can use on the mobile app that animate. And at this moment, the free version of Adobe Express has a very limited number of posts. It's a premium feature. I think, Katrina and Heidi, am I missing any other? Oh, let me show one more thing. This is recorded. I am not 100% sure where it's going, if I'm being honest, but I hope that you get an email about it, or feel free to follow me because when I find out where it goes, I will post about it. So yeah, you can make your own stickers. Katrina, who's in the chat and was in the keynote, makes stickers all the time. If you want to follow the Adobe Express YouTube channel, there are lots and lots of videos about how to make specific things. But let me show something really fast, which, let me remember what it was. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to delete this and add a photo. I'll just add a stock. Oh, no, I'll upload a real photo of a real person. You can edit it in different ways. So with the enhancements over here, you can do contrast, brightness, saturation, shadow, the things you would expect. But what I want to do is with this crop and shape option, if I want this to be a circle, we can do that, which is very fun. So we can have that be a circle and then also have it be in brand colors or have it be in black and white. And then, you know, you can do different shapes depending on what you want. So that is a very fun tool that was just asked about. Yeah, so thank you, Katrina. Please feel free to reach out to me. I am at Jordan Danae Ellis everywhere, and Katrina is at Katrina Trejos everywhere. So you can ask us all of your questions. For those of you who are having a hard time redeeming your code, I believe Heidi has been answering that in the chat, but also please reach out to Etsy because they have all the codes for you. And I know a lot of folks have asked about the difference between Adobe Express and Canva or other products in the space. I answered it at the beginning, but there are like several products in a very similar space because there is a real need for design tools that are for not professional designers. So what I love about Adobe is that it is, or Adobe Express, is that it's powered by Adobe. So all the tech is Adobe tech. All of the templates are designed by Adobe designers. And so we also get access to hundreds of thousands of stock photos, 200,000, I think more than that, of Adobe fonts and other fun things like that. So the scheduling tool is a very, very limited amount of posts in the free version. So in the premium version, it's completely unlimited posts to all 5 of those platforms. Yeah, Katrina said 1 hour is not enough time. Actually, let me just go back to, for folks who joined late, we can just have these frequently asked questions up. So yes, if you haven't gotten the free trial information in your email, please reach out to Etsy or check your email. By registering, you should have gotten access to that. So if you haven't, we will find a way to get it for you. You can absolutely DM me at Jordan Danae Ellis. I am happy to do what I can to connect you. We'll find a way to get it for you. So yes, for those who have asked how much it costs, there is a free version that is free forever. You should have access to the 4-month trial, and then premium access is $9.99 a month, or I think $99 a year. Yeah, Monica, you're supposed to get a code with the email for this workshop. So check the email with your RSVP. But if not, again, please feel free to message me. We'll get it for you. We have them for you, or Etsy has them for you. So you can all get them for sure. Yeah, I think, unless Katrina or Heidi let me know if I have missed anything, but if not, I think we can wrap. I'm really, really thankful that you all joined us today. you will not lose your designs. For those who are asking, you do need premium access to access premium features. So if you like create a bunch of templates that have premium features and then downgrade to the free version, you won't be able to open things that have premium features. So if you make templates that have all free features, you can definitely keep using those. And I hope that answers that question. Yeah, Heidi just dropped the link to our Adobe Express Ambassador program. So if any of you are in communities and love like sharing things that you learn and tools that you have with your community, please check the chat and go to the link that Heidi just shared. I think, Katrina, if you don't mind dropping two, if you have it. I said this at the beginning, but if you came in late, we have an Adobe Express Insiders Facebook group that I help run. So I am in there. I can answer all of your questions. You can follow me on social. I don't know why I didn't put that here, but it's just my full name and it's that everywhere. Or you can also message Katrina. So we want to answer all of your questions wherever you have them. If you think of something in a couple days, please, it's literally my job is helping everyone who wants to use Adobe Express be able to use it well. So don't feel like you're bothering me. Feel free to comment on any of my socials or DM me at any point at any time. And with that, yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully you all get info about where the recording will be shared. If not, I will absolutely share that on my socials when I find it. And yeah, thank you all so much. Thanks to everyone who joined. It was really lovely to meet you. Please connect with me. I would love to see all of your shops. And again, if you have any questions, happy to answer. Oh yeah, Katrina just dropped the Facebook group. Thank you for doing that. So if you want to join our Facebook group, I'm in there every day as this picture. So you'll see me chatting and feel free to ask any questions. And good luck with holidays, folks. I mentioned at the beginning, but there is a marketing specific workshop that one of our Adobe Express ambassadors, Kay, is running. It is next week, Thursday the 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, we do live streams in the Facebook group too. And Katrina and I are both on live streams on the Adobe Express YouTube page every week. So feel free to join the chat there at any time. We're always demoing stuff. I tend to demo like social media help, and Katrina tends to demo how to make things, especially cute things like stickers in Adobe Express. So we would love to see you there. If there are things you want to see, again, feel free to message us. We love making videos, and so we can make videos just for you with whatever questions you have. So thank you very much. Hope you all have a great day. Good luck with holidays. I know holiday sales time is coming up, so I hope all of your shops have great success. I hope you all have as many sales as you can possibly handle, and it was really, really nice to meet you all. Bye. Oops, I don't remember how to stop the event.